welcome back to another week of The Reset.
The Reset. Hello, hello, hello.
Good times here. I'm Anthony Bailey.
And I'm Rici Bell.
And you guys are tuned in to us. You're used to what's going on now. We are all things wellness, from health to relationships.
To money.
To physical
emotions,
fitness.
everything. Everything.
We got an interesting topic coming up today.
We do.
Tell the folks about
we
it
do. So our special guest today is a mental health advocate. She is a former Zumba instructor. She's a wife. She's a mom. She's a community leader. We are so excited to welcome to the Reset today Jennifer Saldivar-Quinonez.
Hey, welcome, Jennifer. Thanks for joining us on The Reset.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So we are super excited. Rici said something in the intro that caught my attention. Is Zumba. Now, I typically think of like physical fitness classes and all that, but there's a whole nother spin to it.
Yeah, well, with that, I mean, I've been doing that. I got licensed to teach that back in 2011. So it's been a long time. Also I got a license to teach kids and seniors. So I really enjoyed teaching the kids and going into different schools and using that as their PE. But overall, using it as a mental health outlet was like key for me, and then being able to provide that for others around the community has just been amazing. So,
that's great, Jennifer. So what kickstarted your mental health journey and just this whole incorporation of movement of your body and Zumba and all that good stuff? Tell us all about that.
Yeah, so it was back in 2004 when I first became a mom.
Shout out to all the moms out there.
Yeah, hardworking moms.
Yeah, first time mom. Had my son, and shortly after giving birth, I started feeling different, where I was crying all the time. I had no idea what was going on. Again, growing up, I think just the language wasn't there for mental health. Of course, taboo and all, but I think overall the language was not there. And so for me, I was like, I feel like I'm just kind of going crazy, like what's going on? And it wasn't until someone in my son's family had said, what you have is a mental illness and it's okay to get help. And so that's when I went and called my doctors, like, I don't know what's going on with me, I need help. And then I was diagnosed with postpartum depression. And then that's where my journey started. Tried to get on different meds, and they actually turned out to be worse for me, like made it worse. Which, again, nothing against medication, but for me, it just did something to me mentally. Like I had all the side effects. And so it wasn't until I got into therapy and then years later, finding fitness, like being just really diving into fitness, and then finding Zumba, like that changed everything for me. So that's how it kind of got started. And from there, I never stopped with the journey of wellness when it comes to fitness, seeking therapy, and all the other aspects that come to that. Yeah.
What was that first time like for you? I've got to ask, because we talked a lot. We did a whole segment on fitness with an amazing trainer who talked about the impact on her body. Right. What was it mentally that clicked for you, though, as you did Zumba?
I think the music and just the movement, again, all the things that happen to your brain when you're working out, the dopamine and all those feel-good hormones were kicking in. And so I didn't know that, though, at the time. I was just like, this makes me feel great. But now learning, the science behind that, and just, that's what I know, like, was key to this. So.
And I love how you said it was someone close to you who was able to speak into your life and say, this is what I think is going on, and you should probably get some help. And so you sought out that help, but you also knew that there was not just one path for you. So you did the therapy, you did the medication, and then you did the Zumba, and you're like, oh, this is actually sticking as well. So what would you say to the folks who are out there who feel like there's only one way to seek help and to really pay attention to their mental health?
Yeah, no, you got to really learn, like, gain the awareness of who you are and what you need, because not everybody's going to want to do Zumba, right? Not everybody's going to want to.
I was going to say that. Some folks, you can't get off the couch. So that can be a little challenging.
Right. So I think it's just, learning what is good for you, what works best for you, and taking those on as your daily practice of your wellness, taking care of yourself. Yeah.
I wanted to kind of just piggyback on Rici's question here, because obviously I'm a girl dad, but I haven't birthed kids, and I don't know what the emotional and the chemical and all that stuff that happens.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you had some postpartum things going on. Talk to us about, for folks at home that aren't familiar with that, what does that do to you, and how did the workouts and stuff really kind of help to remedy some of that for you?
So first of all, I want to say that us women, like, I mean, we give life.
Yes, we do.
Life,
yes, we do.
I've been in the delivery room. I'm a witness to that twice.
So yes, which is just a beautiful, amazing thing. And I think, when you have a baby, like all these hormones, right?
Right.
They go all out of whack. Everything's changing, and then so after having a childbirth, your hormones, everything's trying to go back to normal. So I think that's
sometimes too quickly.
Yeah. And sometimes not correctly or not. It's just kind of out of whack. So everything, even your body, as your body is trying to go back to normal, your hormones are trying to get back to normal, and that's when things can get a little out of whack.
Right.
And so just being mindful of that, and even being like, if I could have told myself something back then, it was just like, give yourself some grace, like be gentle with yourself. It's okay, but I wanted to, I was a new mom. I'm like, I got to do this, I got to do that.
Right. There's so much pressure. So much pressure to perform, but then also not understanding the fact that it's okay to not be okay. And again, you had someone close to you in your life who said, Jennifer, something's going on. Talk to us a little bit about just the stigma, the taboo, perhaps even culturally related, those taboos and stigmas around seeking therapy. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I think definitely a lot of stigma, especially, I would say, even to back then in my family, it was like, no, don't talk about that. Like, don't say that. Like, I was so vocal about it from the time that I started learning, because it's like, my whole motto has been like, I want them to feel like they're not alone.
Right.
So I was so vocal about it. And then I would hear like, no, don't, why do you say that? Don't say that. Like, but because then people are going to look at you like you're crazy.
Yeah.
So.
And did you feel like that was happening? Were people like painting you into this box? Were they labeling you crazy or unstable or?
No, you know what? Maybe if they did, I wasn't paying attention. Because
just block out the noise.
Right.
And I think too, like, because of what I was doing, like, because I worked in community and then teaching so many classes, I gained community through that as well. So I had, people following me, and them seeing me being vocal about it is like they also felt like, what, I'm kind of going through that too. So that was my whole point. Right. So I think that was my main focus, instead of like if people were looking at me a certain way.
Right.
I just knew that I was doing the right thing for me and wanting to help other people. So,
yeah. There's this saying in the leadership world, bleeding while leading. And there are a lot of community leaders today who are not okay. They're not doing well, but they want to put on this front that everything's perfect and everything's beautiful and everything's flowery. But it sounds to me like you're saying it's okay. Again, it's okay to not be okay, even if you're leading. Right. So speak to the leaders in the community who they're struggling. They're struggling mentally, emotionally, relationally, financially, physically, and they don't want to get help, or they don't know how to get help. Speak to the leaders.
Yeah, I think, first off, just saying that it's okay. Like, you don't have to be strong all the time. Like, you got to do what's best for you. And I know too that when, as a leader, it often comes with like, we don't want to be judged. Like, and people are looking up to us.
I know that life.
That is so huge.
I know that life.
We were just talking about that, just in leadership and having to kind of deal with your own stuff kind of behind the scenes. While still being able to perform in public with your public duties or whatnot.
And I think too, that sense of responsibility that we feel as leaders, like we don't want them to see us as weak, because we know they look up to us. But I think saying that I'm not okay right now is a sign of strength. Like I have seen that in some leaders saying, you know what, I need to take a mental health day. And I'm like, that is amazing. Like that is a great leader right there saying, I need a mental health day today because I'm not well. You don't even have to say what's wrong. Like, you don't have to. You don't, because, but even just saying, like, you know what, today's not the day.
Right. Because I feel like as leaders, when you are able to say, I'm not okay today, you're also giving the folks that you lead permission to then say, I am not okay today. And so you're still leading even in those, what we would probably see as weaker moments, but you're saying that's actually a sign of strength when you're able to admit all is not well today.
Right.
And I need help, or I need to sit down, or I need to go to the beach, or whatever, like just whatever works for me. Right. I need to unplug. Exactly. I need to unplug. I need to unplug to recharge. Yeah, that's some good advice that we need to take with.
Take that to heart, seriously.
Yeah.
How do you, in this same vein, a lot of times we go. How do we know when we need to unplug? Are there signs or the things that became apparent to you that you thought about that you can share with folks at home?
I think, so burnout, we think about burnout, right? So we're going, and you just feel, honestly, like there's been many moments, even especially like 3 to 6 months within the whole 8 to 5 shifts, 40 hours a week. Yeah. It's like I could feel my body a little fatigued, even though I'm taking care of myself. And so you just have to have that awareness of like, what is your body telling you and how are you feeling? Are you feeling a little, on edge? Like, that's pretty much a sign. Like, I think I need
irritable,
to unplug for a little bit. Yeah.
Going off on people for no reason.
Seriously, yeah.
Good morning. What's good about it? Have a great day. Don't tell me what to do. Whoa.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Not that I've been there before or anything, but
going
down memory lane there. She's like thumbing through all the stuff that's in her journal.
Right.
Sure.
So tell us, Jennifer, what are some other some other coping strategies, some other really wellness strategies that you have employed or you would encourage others to take a look at, whether it's journaling or going to the beach, medication. What are some other things that you would encourage?
Yeah. So again, first off, encouraging therapy, find a good therapist. And sometimes it takes a while. It took me a long time, and I finally have a great therapist.
It's like matchmaking a little bit. Yeah. It really is. It really is.
And
really?
Then people give up too, because it's like, I don't want to go through my whole past again and share with another person.
Reliving your best.
Right.
But it takes a long time, and you just have to find that connection. And because there's different types too of therapy and different approaches.
What was it like? How'd you know that this is my therapist?
Yeah, I think. Because she was able to speak more trauma-informed language around what was, what I was saying, and she was able to. I'm so fascinated about the brain and how it works and all of that. So she's able to break everything down for me when I said, I'm feeling this right now, and she would be able to like clinically talk to me in a way where like, instead of just regular talk therapy, like, well, maybe you should try this and maybe you should try that. So that was, I think for me, again, in this season, I needed that. Back then, though, I needed just, regular talk therapy or CBT therapy or like all these
and
other
CBT stands for?
Cognitive Behavioral Therapy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought she was going somewhere. I'm gonna put on the 3 shot, so I'm not just throwing her under the bus here. I thought she was going somewhere else, so that was like, okay, this is interesting. Tell us more.
Yeah. Because then there's music therapy and play therapy for the kids and family and art and individual and
Again, gotta find what works for you.
Yeah. I know for me, when I was seeking out my therapist, online, actually, she's back in Virginia, but one of our first conversations, I knew she was the one for me because she simply just said, girl, what's going on? And I was like, I felt like I was at home and I could just exhale. I didn't have to perform. I could take off the mask. I could take off whatever everybody else expected of me. I knew she didn't want that from me. She wanted me to be raw and real. And she just asked straight up, girl, what's going on? Just so
that had to be a little disarming, a little comforting for you.
Oh, absolutely.
How much more did that help you to be
my good. Like, she's like, I probably shouldn't call her this, but she's like my bestie.
I love that.
She needs to be paid. She needs to be paid overtime. Yeah. She needs a raise. But yeah, I mean, even just recently, my last conversation with her, her final words to me were, you know that In Vogue song, girl, give it up, turn it loose. And I was like,
wow.
Yes, ma'am. See you next month.
She understood the assignment there for sure.
Right. So it's, but like Jennifer is saying, you have to find who works for you and what style works for you, because it's different for every person. Mm-hmm. So you were able to find what worked for you.
Yeah.
Some of us come from generations where there's like multiple generations of, you don't go to the shrink or psychologist, or it's just not part of the, like those folks don't do that type of thing. That's kind of the way we grew up. So
drink some ginger ale, rub some Vicks on your chest, and go lay down.
Yep, exactly.
You'll be fine.
Or something.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
So this is kind of fascinating to hear you exploring those layers and taking your time to be able to kind of find that right fit.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
So that's one of them. And I mean, one of the key points. And then I think, our spirituality is the other huge component for me, my faith. But another part is community. Yes. I think is huge. So what I love when we talk about Zumba and that, like, I gained community and friendships that, like, back then I gained friendships in 2011 that are still my closest friends that were beautiful. With me on my journey through the hard times that, like, I never went without because of them. In my darkest moments, there's some of them that literally fed my kids when I couldn't.
Wow.
And till this day, like, just some of the best friends that I have. And so I'm so thankful to that. And not only that, like, it just it opened so many doors for me as well when I was teaching. And then, so I think having that community has been key for me. And making time too for them. That's hard.
Right. Especially as adults. Especially as adults. We, like, who wants to start over at 45? Who wants to, right? Like, who wants to start and try to maintain something brand new at our age? Yeah. But you're saying it's possible. You've done it. Well, okay, so let's kind of go there.
Yes.
Give us a couple of pointers. How do we seek out and maintain new friendships or new relationships or a strong community at maybe an older age?
Yeah, I won't lie. It's hard because you got to have the time, right? That's the main thing, is the time. You got to calendar in, put that calendar invite out to them, right?
Yeah, that's real.
In 3 weeks.
Yeah, seriously. I'll squeeze you in right here.
Right. I've got 45 minutes in 3 weeks.
That's it. Yeah. But so just making that a priority. It has to be a priority.
Yeah.
Like, are we going to make that time or not?
That's
Even
right.
if it's 3 weeks out.
That's right. Because they say you make time for what's important to you and for who's important to you.
How much time do you need during the week, though, realistically, as you're starting this off?
Well, I think you got to prioritize your week as well to keep yourself well. So for me, like, I mean, Fridays are my days. Like, okay, like, let's squeeze something in Fridays, because to do something during the week, you know,
especially
like
if you're a working adult.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm
traditionally
talking about.
With the kids and stuff too. I mean, their schedules.
And for my wellness, I have to be asleep by 9. Okay, so I need my 8 hours of sleep, or else I am not.
But that's so good that you know that about yourself, though.
Yeah,
you know that about yourself.
Yes. So during the week, unless it's a very special occasion, I will, put in the time. But if not, then it's like saving it on the weekends and carving out that time then,
Yeah. What are some things that you look for in a healthy community? What are some distinctives or markers that say, this is a good group of friends. This is a good woman to hang out with. This is a good guy to hang out with. What are some things you look for?
Yeah, non-judgmental. Yeah.
Can we talk about that for a while?
Where are you finding that at these days is the bigger question, because...
Is that possible?
Yeah, between social media and all the different perceptions and personalities,
So non-judgmental.
That's
okay.
the number one
Fingers
thing.
crossed that that's
and just
possible.
Somebody that that's a safe space, right? That you can, it's not about gossip. It's just about, like, ourselves and our growth that we're going through, our things that we have going on. It's so life-giving when you're around community like that, friends like that,
Yeah.
Like, we don't sit around and talk about, everybody. I mean, sometimes we vent a little bit.
We listen and we don't judge. Right? That's the latest little thing on TikTok these days, right?
Yeah. So non-judgmental, non-gossipers, safe space, a place for you to just let your hair down and show up authentically as your full self. What are some other things that we should be looking for in a healthy community and thinking about community as another tool in our wellness toolbox? What are some other things we should look for?
Those who are also willing to invest the time, because it has to go both ways, right? So those who are like encouraging, I think those are, the biggest things. And it's just, honestly, so right now I'm living in a different county, but I was born here, raised here, and coming to Fresno and hearing my friends from Fresno even just saying, "You're getting it, like you're doing so good," and I haven't even talked to them really. They're just, and it's just like, oh, that feels so good to hear,
Great feeling.
because I am in a new community right now, a new county, like gaining new friends, learning new people, and so. I'm not there fully yet, but it's you got to put in the work. Right. So that's why I said when I hear my Fresno friends like, just you're doing so good, I'm like, thank you.
That's a good feeling.
It is. We say that about Anthony all the time. He's big time. He was born and raised here, went away, came back, and as he comes back, we're like, Anthony, you're doing so well. Thanks for putting us on the map, Anthony.
You know what? We've just been fortunate. I think we've been fortunate to have some good things happen.
Yeah.
And we just want to connect up with the people that are in our circle that are deserving and that we see things in. I think, part of that community and part of that safe space is not only taking from it, but being able to put back into it.
Yeah.
And I always look at it as people looked out for me along the way.
Oh, yeah.
So many doors are open that now,
you
get in a position where it's your turn to do that.
Yep.
We'll keep that thing going.
Keep it going. Pay it forward.
In 5 or 10 years. And you've got all kind of people from your circle or from here. You mentioned the South Valley. Yeah. Just kind of helping everybody. What do they say? A rising tide lifts all boats. I think is the one that I hear a lot of.
Yes.
So kind of comes back to me.
Yeah. No, that's good. You mentioned earlier, Jennifer, just this idea of safe space. And I feel like, especially in the mental health world and more of like your social, like maybe even self-help world, we hear that term a lot, safe space. We hear trauma a lot. We hear narcissist a lot. We hear trigger a lot. Like there's just some buzzwords, right, that we hear a lot. Break down for us, what does a safe space look like to you? Because when I think of a safe space, the other side of that coin is a brave space. So safe enough for me to come just as I am, but brave enough for me to be challenged to rise to my best self. So what does safe space look like for you? Break that down for us.
Yeah, that's a good question. The first thing again that comes where I can also show up as myself without being judged and being able to like share what I'm going through and I mean, I like the challenge too. I mean, but it depends on if your friend, who you're telling that to, how much do they know about you? How much have they invested in you? Because you're not just gonna take it from anybody, right?
Oh no. So you have to earn the right to speak into my life. I have to give you permission to speak into my life.
So I think if it's just basic safe space is just being able to know that whoever we're speaking to is not going to be judgmental or
the next social media post is about you, but they don't mention your name. So I was talking to a friend who was just sharing yesterday. She had on a white jacket with a black top underneath, and but I'm not going to say her name. But what?
I feel like we've all read some of those on social media. We're like, you may be sharing a little bit too much.
Too much detail. Yeah.
And I think too, with that, when it comes to the judgmental lens too, is so. With the trauma-informed practices too, like because I teach a lot on that. It helps you look at others too, of not saying like if they come to you and telling you all these things that are going wrong and what happened to them or what's going on, you don't look at them and saying like what's wrong with you. Instead you say what happened to you. So that right there,
just the language
right there.
Oh, that's so good.
Because then we tend to be like, man, what. They're right. There's something else, right?
Right.
But it's like, no, what happened to get them to where they're at right now? So I think that creates safety in itself.
That's so good. Just language. The language matters. That little shift.
Yeah, no, this is huge. I'll tell you, I mean, this has been really a great half hour for us. The time just really flies.
Oh my gosh.
We're covering, this type of depth of content and whatnot. And so we definitely appreciate you coming in and spending some time with us.
Thank you, Jennifer.
And we are looking forward to getting you back.
Yes.
Here soon.
Real soon. Because at the end of the day, we just want to know, are you okay?
That's the big question.